Hi friends, it's Chelsea Fates Reads. I hope that you're having a fabulous day today. I'm excited to show you all of the manga and books that I read in the month of November 2025. If I kind of slur my words a little bit, it's because I have bitten my tongue back here and it hurts a lot, and so sometimes my words slur together, so just forgive me for that. I know it's weird, but it just hurts a lot. I'm an idiot. I read 2 books and 4 manga. The first manga I read is volume 1 of Kagurabachi. This is a new series. I don't watch a ton of manga tubers just because I'm very picky about the kind of content I like to consume, but the people that I watch, I haven't watched them read it, I've just watched them haul it. So I have no idea what the general consensus is of this series or what people want from it or what they think about it. I didn't do first impressions of it because I took so long to read it that I didn't feel confident enough to speak about it here, but I will at least give you like my general idea of what I thought of it. We're following this guy here. He starts off as a kid at the beginning, and it's giving Demon Slayer, like how the plot starts at the beginning. Like he lives with his dad and he makes swords, or he's like an apprentice of his dad who makes swords, and something happens to his dad and it's a revenge story, and it's like you got to figure out what happened and why this is happening. It's very similar to Demon Slayer in the setup for this. So if you know Demon Slayer, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Not to say that it's bad or not original. There are some really interesting bits of magic within here involving swords and swordsmen, and the society itself has a magic system within it. So I'm interested to see how that develops and what we're looking at and working with here. But honestly, it wasn't like so amazing that I'm dying to pick up the second volume. It might be one of those that I just kind of read when I feel like it. It is a shonen and it was good. I just don't know if I would rate it above a 3 for this first volume. My husband really likes it. He's reading much faster than I am, but I will continue it, just not in a fast pace kind of situation. The second volume of manga that I read was for a video that I'm working on, so I won't talk too much about it. And that is What Did You Eat Yesterday by Fumi Yoshinaga. I believe that's the same creator as Oku the Inner Chambers. So this is a BL story about these 2 older men who are in a relationship or married. I can't remember if they're married or not. I think they're just dating, but they're very serious, and one of them works a corporate job and he goes home and cooks for them when they're together at night, and the other one's a hairdresser. So it's really cute, but I'll be honest with you guys, it's not my favorite. I have things to say in the video that I'm making involving it, and I will go more into detail in that video, but just know that this isn't something I will be continuing. I do appreciate what it's trying to do, and I really wanted to like that one. Next up, I read volume 3 of Villains Are Destined to Die. Has become one of my favorite series of the end of the year. I just randomly picked it up and decided to give it a try from my local library, and then I've started purchasing it myself because holy moly, this is fun. We are following this girl here who has been isekai'd essentially into a mobile game that she's been playing, and she lives a really crappy life, to be honest, and that's what happens. There's a lot of mystery there, how it happened, and like what is her purpose in life? Is she falling into the same situation in this world that she was in her own? Looks different. She's pretty much royalty in this world, in their terms, is having to navigate these different boys, because the game she fell into was like an otome dating simulator where you have to like get the percentages up of all the guys and like pick the one that you want to be with without dying or whatever, and she ended up being put in there as the villainess. So it's a lot harder when you do that instead of just the protagonist of the series, which has not shown up yet in the series, but she's playing on hard mode in this otome game. So she's trying not to die, because any of the love interests can also kill you apparently, but she's also trying to get their percentages up so that she can win the game. I don't know, she hasn't really thought that far ahead as to if that can even work properly. I guess she thinks that if she gets that high enough percentage, it gets married or whatever, that she'll be brought back into the real world. But that's what she's trying to do. It's very romantic. It's very tension based. She's kind of oblivious to the affection that the guys feel for her. The only way that she really knows if they actually liked what she did is by the percentages going up. Like she has no sense of like, oh, I can tell that he really liked that. I guess because maybe in her real life she didn't really have relationships. So it's fun. I'm really enjoying it. I just hate the price tag. This is $20. I guess it's worth it. The art's pretty. It feels like you get a good amount of reading. It's not just a bunch of pictures, but I still hate $20 for a small book like this. It hurts my wallet and it makes me angry, but this is one I will be continuing. I might try to find some used volumes, but it's hard to find good quality used volumes of manhwa because people beat them up so much, but I do recommend it. It's really, really good. And the last manga that I read is an adult series, so if you're under 18, you do not need to read this. And if you know me in real life, you do not. So this, I always say that as a joke. This is Fire in His Fingertips. A flirty fireman ravishes me with his smoldering gaze, volume 8 by Kawano Tanishi. I have been enjoying this series. It's gotten better. There was like perfection in like the first 2 or 3 volumes, and then at some point it started censoring so heavily that it was almost unreadable to me. Especially the point of the series is the smut. Like, let's be real, like this does have a story and it's cute, but the main reason you're reading this is for the smut. They started heavily censoring it, so I almost dropped it. Like, I legitimately was like, if the next volume has the heavy censoring, I'm done. Well, it got a little less censored, a little less, and now it's back to what it was. I don't know why they did that. I really don't. Like, of course there are scenes that I think they're cutting short that they normally wouldn't. I'll be real with you guys. There were a couple of scenes that they just kind of ended, and I'm like, I think they probably would have went like 4 more panels of this, but they cut it short. So I would rather have that than the full-on lightsaber censoring, because it was like stupid. Like it was stupid. It would be like watching, just for example, watching a horror movie and then cutting all of the death scenes out. Like, you know, like ugh, it's weird. But there's also a little short story at the end of this one about, what's it called? I thought it was kind of neat. Well, I don't know what it's called. There's no name, but it's about a dragon man and a girl. And she's like deprived of relations, and he is obviously deprived of relations based off of the way he acts. But it was really good. I would read that too. It's just a dragon man and a woman, and he can turn into a human, of course. But that was really good. I like that too. But this series is fun. If you're an adult, I like it. It's got a story to it, but it's not like the most deep analytical story. It's just a story about 2 childhood friends who grow up into partners. I like it a lot. Now I've read all the manga, showing you all the manga I've read. I'm going to show you the 2 books that I also read this month. The first one I read is A Forgery of Fate. This is by Elizabeth Lim, and you guys, I might have mentioned this in a vlog. I know I made a clip of it, but I can't remember if I actually posted it. I started this ages ago. I'm really, really slow when it comes to fantasy books. I don't know what it is. I just take a really long time to dive into them. And I think it's because the world building is so, even with a YA sometimes, I struggle with world building because, I don't know, I guess it's so fantastical and the dialogue is so different. I just take a really long time to get through it. And it's not that it wasn't good. I gave this, I think, 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. It's a pretty decently length book, and it's a single, like a standalone from what I'm understanding. It's over 400 pages. Our main character, who's this girl here, she has this ability that she has been born with / developed of being a painter. So she's an artist, and she can kind of predict the future with her paintings. It starts off kind of questionable as to if that's true or not, and then it does get confirmed that she is kind of magic. She has these visions that help her paint the future, but she has to kind of just deal with what she sees. She can't really change it or know when it's gonna happen. And there's dragons involved. She meets a prince. There's like wars fought, there's mermaids and turtles. It's cute. I do recommend it if you like fantasy, especially underwater themed, because this is very heavily aquatic, like very much so. Like, I'd say 80% of it is in the water. and a lot of dragons. These two characters who pine for each other, but you're not quite sure if the guy is actually in it or if he's just doing what he needs to do to get by. And then eventually at the end you do figure out what's happening. So it's really fun. I do recommend it if you like, I don't know what country this is based in, but I'm gonna guess it's like somewhere in Asia based off of the imagery and of course the cover design, but I cannot say. It was really good. I recommend it. That's all I can really think to say. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling the most interested in talking about books this morning. I'm trying, but I'm really tired. I just woke up and I'm a little rusty from not being on camera for a little while. Anyways, the last book that I read is okay, hear me out. So a while back I mentioned a book that I read that a friend of mine wrote, and I know this person in real life and I loved her books. I'll put the one that I read on the screen, and I believe I read the second one too. I just haven't read the final two. I plan to do that. I just had to be in the mood for another light fantasy. But she and I had lunch the other day. She has written another book, but it's a totally different thing. And she brought me a copy that was signed. So I have a signed copy of this, and it's under another pen name. So it's like a side thing that I guess, like, you know how people change names kind of when they do a different genre. I think that's what it is. This is Love and Other Atrocities by Linehan. Y'all, this is a smut that my friend wrote. And I say that not to make fun of it or to make it weird. I say that because it's probably a very rare occurrence that someone gets to read a book that a friend of theirs wrote or someone they know that is degenerate like this. Maybe some of you have read fan fiction that your friends have written, or maybe it's more common than I think, but I think it's probably a pretty rare occurrence to read something this dirty that a friend of yours wrote. It was really good. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was kind of scared to read it. I don't read a lot of romance here, as you know. I think there might have been like 2 pure romance novels. They were contemporary that I have read on this channel, if I can remember correctly, long time ago when I was trying all these different genres. And I didn't love the genre, but I did like those 2 books. So maybe I'm just mistaken that I actually do like romance. So Chelsea's gonna try more because she also liked this one. I have liked all 3 romance books that I've read, and I still say that I don't like the romance genre. Anyway, this one was heavily smutty. The first 2 romance novels I read were slightly smutty with a lot more story. So I don't know what my preference is, but this is a story. As you can see, there's a girl with 2 guys. It's about a throuple. We have our girl here. She is a demon from hell, and she has like a tail and horns and flames, but she can summon them. She summons shadows as much as she wants or as little as she wants. She is sent to Earth to possess this guy, Theo. And he is really down on his luck. Like, he has had a crap of a time. His girlfriend dumped him, who he was about to get engaged to. He lost his job. A lot of other bad things have happened, and so he's just barely getting by in his apartment. And she is sent to possess him because they think that he will be easily possessible, the people who control her in hell. And this guy is named Ben. He is a priest. And so he hires him to come and exorcise her because she's crazy at the time. She's super evil sounding. She has one goal: to possess him and make him do bad things. Well, she can't fully take over. She can only kind of go in his body and do very small things because he is just so emotionless. Like, I figure he's going through a massive depression, and so he's not really feeling anything. He's just kind of blah in there. Very heavily depressed. So she can't really fully grab onto his emotions and control him yet. And so she's upset because she knows that either she's going to have to take control of him or she's going to get recalled back to hell, and it's not going to be pretty because she'll get lectured, I guess, or tortured or something. And so she decides to talk to this Ben priest guy that she found online to exorcise him so she can get out of him and go find someone else. So that apparently is a loophole that she can do. They instead end up being a throuple in some circumstances that I will not divulge because that's part of the book. This was really good. I'll be honest with you guys, I was so scared to read this because, for one, I have this preconceived notion that I don't like romance in my head, which is obviously not true, and 2, someone I know wrote it, and so I was like so scared that I would be, I'll be honest, I was scared I'd be cringing the whole time. I was scared that I wouldn't like it and that I would put it down and me and her would never talk about it, and it would just be one of those things where, like, either she didn't know if I read it, or I would just pretend that I didn't, just not to hurt her feelings. But I genuinely like this. I was texting her throughout reading it and being like, girl, I even took notes. If you know me, I have never written in my books. Never. I wrote in this book. Maybe because it is one of her books that I felt confident enough to write in, but there were some really interesting little nods to who she is as a person in here. I won't point them out, but I underlined those things. Like there's something in here about where this one character works, and it's very similar to where me and her work together. And I underlined that because that was cool. And then there was a funny part that I underlined because it really had me cackling. There's a mention of her cat in here. She has I've cat sat for her before, and there's a very specific scene in here involving a cat, and it's describing her cat. Like it's very obviously her cat because of how unique he is. And so that was really cute. I think there was one smexy scene that I underlined because holy crap. But there were 3 or 4 little sections that I underlined something because, oh yeah, there was a character who also taught martial arts on the side, which made me think of me and my husband, which was really funny. Not to say that it was referencing us at all, but I just thought that was really fun. It was just really fun to read this, and I didn't know that that would be the case. I just really highly recommend it, not just because my friend wrote it. I certainly recommend it for that reason as well, and you should be supporting indie artists. I will put a link to this book in the description of this video so that you can go buy it yourself. I'm sure it's free on Kindle Unlimited. Most of her books are, and it's probably pretty affordable paperback or hardcover edition. This is what she gifted me. It's signed in the front. I'm really lucky to have a friend who is so good at writing, and she's been editing as well. Very intelligent woman. I really love Ray. I won't call her by her real name because privacy reasons, but yeah, this is really cool. Go follow her on Instagram as well. I'll put that down there. Buy her book because this was really good. If you like smut, here, let me give you a comparison. If you like this kind of stuff, but you want it to get a little nastier, this is your book. It was very naughty, like very smutty, and I liked it. Not for kids. Do not read this if you get easily grossed out by sexual things, because it does get real interesting. That's all I'll say. But it was good. I liked it a lot. 4 out of 5 stars. But anyways, you guys, that's really all I have to talk to you about today. Kind of took my time with today's video because it's been a while and I'm feeling a little chatty but also kind of tired. Today's my last day off of this long Thanksgiving weekend, so I want to get this video up because I know I'm not going to finish a book between now and then, and I hope that y'all are doing well. I do have videos planned for December, so I hope that you're excited. I just took some time to chillax because during November, December is the busiest time of the year for my job, so I do tend to miss a lot of extra days off that I would be filming. So I hope that you guys understand that, and I appreciate you being here for the long haul. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.